Welcome back to another vlog. So for this vlog, I'll be giving you three major steps for you to take in order for you to get a job here in Japan. These three major steps include: first, I'll share some websites for you to check in order for you to get a job here in Japan. Secondly, I will share some basic things for you to do in order to boost your chances to get a job, including visa sponsorship. And finally, I will share the templates, the typical Japanese templates on how for you to update your CV, and because your CV is the primary thing any recruiter will see before they call you, so of course your CV needs to be updated. So if you think this is a topic you would be very much interested in, then let's dig into it. Okay, so I wrote everything here on my phone so I don't leave anything behind. Have you always want to work here in Japan, or is living in Japan for a very long time something that you've always wanted to do but you don't know where or how to start, or probably it's one of your biggest concern? Here are some things to consider, the basic things to consider in order for you to work here in Japan. Keep it in mind that these are the basic things to consider, and also the websites to check. You should always check the company's websites and job description for first-hand information. This is just a tip about a personal experience and some Google research. And also remember, it's just a guideline. Things changes every day. Do not forget to do your own research. So I'll be sharing three consecutive guidelines on how you can work here in Japan, and this includes, first, like I said earlier, the requirements; second, the website; and third, the template. So first, I will share the website. So the first website is the Dai Job. The Dai Job is here on the description box. So this is what it actually looks like. Check Dai Job websites. There you can get a lot of jobs opportunity, and also international job and Japanese company as well. So check Dai Job. The second one is Gaijin Port. Gaijin Port. Also check Gaijin Port. There are a lot of opportunities there. The third one is Japan English teacher. This is specifically for those that want to teach English here in Japan, so try and check the Japan English teacher. The fourth one is jobs in Japan. This one is top notch. Check jobs in Japan. The fourth one is LinkedIn, which everyone knows. The next one is Glassdoor. The seventh one is career course. The eighth one is Borderlink, that is very popular. The ninth one is indeed.job/jp. I'll paste it also on the screen. Remember, some other demanding jobs here in Japan includes factory job, housekeeping job, IT job, and many more, teaching job. Yeah, so if you think this is something that you are very much interested in, then check all these websites that I just mentioned. You have a very big chances. Before the end of this video, I'll be listing my top 3 I would advise you to check the most, so do not miss this thing. Okay, so the next thing I'll be talking about is, I don't know if you can hear me. So the next thing I'll be talking about is the requirements. So this one is something that you cannot maybe see online, unless it's someone that has experienced it before, or someone that has an idea about it previously. So the first thing I would like to talk about the requirements is that some companies differs, okay, based on what the recruiter wants, or what the agency wants, or what the company wants. So some companies may want you to know how to speak Japanese language, or even if you don't know how to speak Japanese language, you should know the basic conversational level. Where some company will tell you you don't need to know how to speak the language. So again, you have to always check the company's job description in order for you to get a first-hand and updated information. So again, it differs, okay? So yeah, and the next thing is that most jobs may require you to be in Japan, but specifically for those people that are not in Japan, some companies do offer visa sponsorship. Like I said earlier, before the end of this vlog, I will be sharing with you some websites to offer visa sponsorship for people that are outside Japan. Okay, so the next thing I'll be talking about, the next requirements or bonus, or to boost your chances of getting a visa to work here in Japan is IELTS. IELTS is not a necessity. It's not a necessity for you to have IELTS, but I think it is very important, especially if you're applying outside Japan. You need something that will make you stand out, right? You need something that people will see, any recruiter will see. They will never have any other option than to reach out to you. So if you have IELTS, you have every chances. But if you don't have it, it's okay. It's not a necessity to have it. Okay, okay, I've said two things. First, always check the company's job description to get an updated information. Reasons because things might change. Some do require Japanese proficiency or conversational level, while some don't. Secondly, if you're applying outside Japan, you must have points or things that will boost your chances more, so that any recruiter that sees your CV would consider you first. And for some companies, they do require people that are already in Japan, but some people that are not in Japan yet, you need something that will make your CV to stand out. I don't know if I'm making sense. The next thing I'll be talking about next is you have to be at least a college graduate or a degree holder. So if you're coming from Nigeria, or if you're applying from Nigeria, you should have at least HND results or university results, or make sure you write WAEC. But the competition in the market is too much, so you need to stand out. So make sure you have at least HND results or university results or teaching experience. Okay, so this will boost your chances. Again, this may vary in some companies. Some company might say, oh, I need a graduate, I need a degree holder, I need a master degree holder, or I need a BSc holder. Okay, so the basic certificate you have to have is at least a college degree certificate. Okay, so teaching experience, like I said earlier, is something that is not a necessity. Okay, but it also will boost your chances of getting contacted. Okay, so if you have a teaching experience, that is another good point for you. Okay, but if you don't have a teaching experience, that is okay. This particular information is specifically for those that wants to teach here in Japan. If you have a teaching experience, okay, but if you don't, it's okay. Once you're good at speaking English very well, you're good to go. Okay, so the next thing I'll be talking about is, if you're already in Japan, you need to have at least a valid visa, okay, or a student visa, okay, in order for you to get a working visa. Okay, so you must have a visa already in Japan, okay, in order for you to get a working visa, to change your visa from student visa to working visa. The next thing I'll be talking about is however, like I said earlier, always check the job description for a first-hand information, not just first-hand information, updated information. Okay, the next thing I'll be talking about is please check the above mentioned websites. Like I mentioned earlier, check those websites for more information about how to get a job here in Japan. These websites have different jobs opportunities, just like I said, not just teaching job. For example, they have engineering, they have software developers, they also have some top-notch demanding job that is in vogue at the moment. Okay, and the good thing is that you don't even need to know how to speak Japanese. You don't need to know how to speak Japanese, but if you know how to speak Japanese, that is a 80 over 100. Like, you've passed the basic fence. There is an imaginable fence. You don't know how to speak the language, you cannot cross that fence. But if you know how to speak the language, you've passed that fence. Okay, and also you have to have a valid international passport. Okay, and next is that you need to create an account. Some of these websites, okay, some of them you need to create an account with them, upload your CV there. Okay, write down your qualification with there. So you need to do all those things in order for you to get contacted. Okay, so I'll be talking more about it during the template era. So my three most top-notch websites I would advise you to go is, first is the daijob.com, second is the Gaijin port, and third is Jobs in Japan. These three websites, you really need to check it very well, thoroughly, okay? And so you need to create a resume with one of these websites, I think. Yeah, Gaijin Port, you need to create a resume with them. So this will enable them, this will make some recruiter maybe check out your CV, check out your application, contact you. Okay, so you need to create a website, an account with them. Okay, I think it's free, you don't need to pay for any money. Okay, yeah, so that is my 1 point for the requirement. You must have a valid passport, of course. If you have a teaching experience, that's cool. If you don't have, it's okay. IELTS, if you know, if you wrote the IELTS exam, it's cool. But if you didn't, it's okay. But what I would advise is that you should do something that will make you stand out, so that any recruiter would be left with no other option than to reach out to you. Then the next one is Japanese language. You should know how to speak at least the basic language. It's not that if you don't know how to speak the language that you cannot survive. Of course you can survive. I don't know how to speak the language. If you don't know how to speak the language, it's okay. But if you're planning to stay for a very long time, I would advise you know how to speak the language, at least the basic. Okay, so next we'll be moving ahead to the template, the CV template. So for CV template, I will be sharing Japanese style of CV. Okay, because I remember when I came newly, it was very difficult for me to comprehend, because in Nigeria that is how we usually design our CV. You put your nursery school, your primary school, all those things. So it was after I came, a few months after I landed, that some of my classmates was like, oh no, you need to update some certain things, it's Japanese style. So I think I need to do a separate video of how to do it, but then I will give you some information on how to design. Okay, but if you want a separate video on how to design it, like a one-on-one connection or guideline, then let me know on the comment section. I will definitely do that. So yes, going ahead to the CV template. Japan is not an English speaking country, so you need to make your CV very detailed for anyone that goes through it will understand it. All right, so identify the position, the company you worked with. Okay, if you earned any skill, okay, or any program you went for and you earned a certificate, put it in. All right, make it very short and straight to the point. No plenty grammar. They don't need a lot of grammar. You don't need to speak English for them to know that you know what you are doing. All right, again, it's not an English speaking country. So this position or the previous company you worked with includes sales admin, HR, assistant manager, PR and marketing, etc. Okay, whatever position you worked at, identify it using a bulletin point. I will put maybe I'll put a template on the screen so you can understand my point. Again, if you want me to do a separate video about this particular template thing, let me know. I can do it. All right, next, remember to add a picture on your CV. It's very important. I do not know, okay, it was Bridget, my friend, shout out to Bridget. She was the one that told me before I came to Japan, few days, I think a day before I left, my last day at work. She was like, oh Miriam, you need to update your CV, put your picture in it. I have no idea. So make sure you put a picture on your CV, to a recent picture also, to see what you also look like. And I would advise you to wear a formal attire and have a white background on your passport picture. Okay, if possible, have a white background and dress formally. Okay, so the next thing is use bulletin points to make your points short and precise. Again, Japan is not an English speaking country, and you need to make your CV very understandable, straight to the point. All right, so also use action verb, because on your resume, action verb shows reader you accomplished something at your past job. Okay, you weren't just responsible for it, instead you coordinated and executed it. Okay, try and use action verb on your CV. Okay, next is avoid using abbreviations and pronouns such as I, mine, and use font size 12. Font size 12 is the size you need to use to update your CV. Okay, font size 12, remember. Okay, so try and wear a formal attire, attach a picture on your CV, make your CV short, detailed, and straight to the point. You don't need plenty grammar. Use action verb, avoid pronouns. All right, Next is yeah, I said it earlier, avoid plenty English, and avoid making mistakes and misspelling. All right. Yeah, I think that is it for the CV. Okay, but if you have any question, let me know. Okay, if you want me to do a separate video about how to design this CV, because it's really hard, I agree. Okay, just let me know in the comment section and we'll surely do it. Okay, so if you made it to the end of this video, I would like to thank you specially for your support, for your kindness, and for your super support. Thank you so much. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you at the top.